Imagine waking up every morning with a strange weight in your chest. Nothing dramatic, nothing you could easily explain to someone else. Your life on the surface looks fine. You have a job, you have people who care about you. Maybe you've even achieved things you once dreamed about. And yet when the alarm goes off and you open your eyes, there's this quiet sense that something is missing. Not pain exactly, but emptiness. A question that follows you through the day. Is this really all there is? You go through the motions. You work, you smile, you scroll, you eat, you sleep, and in the background of your mind, that question keeps echoing. And if you're honest, it's terrifying because it suggests that you could do everything you're supposed to do and still feel hollow inside. We live in a time of unprecedented comfort, at least in the material sense. You can get food delivered to your door in minutes, you can talk to someone across the world instantly, you can access more information in a day than your ancestors could in a lifetime. And yet anxiety, depression, and a deep sense of purposelessness are everywhere. That tells you something fundamental. It tells you that human beings do not live by bread alone. We do not live by pleasure alone. We do not live by comfort alone. We live by meaning. We need to know why we're getting up in the morning. We need to know what justifies our suffering, because suffering is inevitable. Everyone is going to face loss, failure, illness, aging, and death. The question is not whether you will suffer. The question is whether your suffering will be pointless or meaningful. And when people have no clear values, no sense of responsibility, no higher aim to orient themselves toward, they drift, they become fragmented, they become resentful, they become anxious, they become angry at the world, at society, at themselves. Because when you don't aim at something that's worth aiming at, your life doesn't organize itself. It falls apart. It's like trying to build a structure without a blueprint. Everything collapses into chaos. So you look around and you see people who are comfortable but lost. They don't know what they believe, they don't know what they're willing to sacrifice for, they don't know what they're responsible for. They're told that the highest good is to be happy, to be free of constraint, to avoid pain at all costs. And that sounds appealing until you actually try to live that way. Because a life oriented only toward happiness and pleasure quickly becomes shallow, pleasure fades, comfort becomes boring. And then what? Then you're left with yourself, with your own thoughts, with your own unresolved guilt, fear, and confusion. And without a meaningful goal to pull you forward, all of that turns inward and starts to eat away at you. That's what I mean when I say the soul collapses inward. You become preoccupied with your own suffering, your own inadequacy, your own sense of being wronged by life. And that's a very dangerous place to be. Now, if meaning isn't found in happiness, where is it found? This is where things become deeply counterintuitive, especially in a culture that worships comfort. Meaning is found in responsibility, voluntary responsibility. The decision to shoulder a burden because it is yours to carry, because it needs to be carried, and because you are capable of carrying it. There is something in the human psyche that responds profoundly to that. When you take on responsibility, your life gains weight, it gains structure, it gains direction. You're no longer just drifting from one moment of distraction to the next. You're oriented towards something that matters, something that requires effort, sacrifice, and courage. And that's not easy. It's not supposed to be easy, but it's deeply satisfying in a way that pleasure never is. Think about the moments in your life that you're most proud of. They're almost never the moments when everything was easy and comfortable. They're the moments when you faced something difficult and didn't run away. When you told the truth even though it was risky. When you took care of someone who needed you. When you worked hard for something that seemed just out of reach. Those moments have a different quality to them. They feel solid. They feel real. They feel meaningful. And that's because you were voluntarily carrying a load. You were doing something that demanded the best of you. You were stretching beyond what was comfortable. And discovering that you were stronger than you thought. Carrying the heaviest load you can bear doesn't mean crushing yourself. It means finding the edge of your competence and pushing it just a little further. It means asking yourself, what is the responsibility that is mine, that I have been avoiding, that if I were to take it on, would make my life better and the lives of those around me better? Maybe it's getting your finances in order. Maybe it's repairing a broken relationship. Maybe it's committing seriously to your education or your career. Maybe it's taking responsibility for your physical and mental health. These are not glamorous tasks, they're often tedious and frightening, but they are precisely the kinds of tasks that give your life substance. They transform chaos into order, and in doing so, they transform you. But to take on responsibility, you first have to confront the chaos within yourself. Life is suffering. That's not a pessimistic statement. It's a realistic one. To be alive is to be vulnerable. It is to care about things that can be taken from you. It is to be aware of your own limitations and your own mortality. You can try to avoid that reality. You can numb yourself with distractions, with substances, with endless entertainment, with shallow relationships. But avoidance doesn't make the suffering go away. It only makes you weaker. It makes you less capable of facing what inevitably comes. And then When something truly difficult happens, and it will, you're unprepared, you break. Transformation begins when you stop running. When you turn around and face the things that frighten you. Your failures, your mistakes, your resentment, your shame, your unresolved grief. It's like standing in front of a dragon. The dragon represents everything you're afraid of, everything you've been avoiding, everything you've been telling yourself you'll deal with someday. And the longer you avoid it, the bigger it gets, the more power it has over you. You don't become strong by pretending it isn't there. You don't become strong by running in the opposite direction. You become strong by confronting it, by telling the truth about it, by taking a step toward it, even though you're afraid. And that is terrifying. But it is also the path to genuine confidence and self-respect, because every time you face something you're afraid of and you survive, you learn something fundamental about yourself, that you are more capable than you thought. This confrontation with chaos is not a single heroic act, it's a series of small, often unremarkable decisions. It's choosing to have the difficult conversation instead of avoiding it. It's choosing to admit when you're wrong, it's choosing to look honestly at your own contribution to the problems in your life, rather than blaming everyone else. That's painful. It shatters the comfortable narrative that you're purely a victim of circumstances. But it also gives you your power back. Because if you have contributed to the problem, then you can also contribute to the solution. And that is incredibly meaningful. It means you are not helpless. You are an active participant in your own life. From there, the task becomes one of bringing order out of chaos. And this is where discipline and truth enter the picture. You might have heard the phrase, clean your room. On the surface, it sounds trivial, almost childish. But it's not about the room, it's about what the room represents. It's about starting with what is immediately around you, what is immediately within your control, and putting it in order. When your environment is in chaos, it reflects and reinforces the chaos in your mind. When you take the time to organize your space, to care for it, to make it functional and beautiful, you're sending a message to yourself that you are someone who deserves order, that you are someone who is capable of creating it. But it goes much deeper than that. Cleaning your room psychologically means examining your habits, your routines, your relationships, your beliefs, and asking whether they are aligned with who you want to be. It means discarding what is unnecessary or harmful. It means building structures into your life that support your growth rather than undermine it. And none of that is possible without truth. You cannot put your life in order if you are lying to yourself. You cannot build something solid on a foundation of denial and self-deception. Speaking the truth, even when it is uncomfortable, is the way you align your words, your actions, and your values. It's the way you reduce the internal conflict that drains your energy and clouds your judgment. Choosing a burden that gives your suffering purpose is one of the most important decisions you will ever make. That burden might be your family, the commitment to be present, to be reliable, to be loving, even when it's difficult. It might be your career, not as a means of status or wealth alone, but as a way of contributing something of value to the world. It might be service, the decision to help others who are struggling, to use your abilities for something beyond your own immediate gratification. It might be personal growth, the relentless pursuit of becoming a better, more honest, more courageous version of yourself. Whatever it is, it must be something that you genuinely believe is worth the effort, worth the sacrifice, worth the pain. Because when the inevitable hardships come, and they will, it is the meaning of what you are doing that will carry you through. And then, in the final moments, I look out at the audience, at the faces of people who are searching, who are struggling, who are trying to make sense of their lives, and I say something that is both simple and profound. Your life matters more than you think. Not in some abstract, sentimental way, but in a deeply concrete way. The way you act matters. The way you speak matters. The way you treat the people around you matters. You are not a mistake. You are not an accident. You are not insignificant. There is something unique that you can bring into the world, something that no one else can bring in quite the same way. But that potential is not automatically realized. It has to be chosen. It has to be worked for. It has to be carried like a cross, like a responsibility that is both heavy and meaningful. The hidden key to a fulfilling life is not comfort. Comfort is fleeting. It is not pleasure. Pleasure fades. It is not the absence of struggle. Struggle is inevitable. The hidden key is courage. The courage to face yourself honestly, the courage to take on responsibility, the courage to pursue meaning, even when it is difficult. And when you do that, when you align your life with something that truly matters, you find that the emptiness begins to recede. In its place comes a sense of purpose, a sense of direction, a sense that your suffering is not in vain. And that more than anything else is what allows a human being to stand up straight, to face the world, and to say, I am here and my life has meaning. If these ideas resonate with you, if you feel that pull towards something deeper, something more substantial than mere comfort, then there is much more to explore. There are countless conversations, insights, and stories that can help you continue this journey toward meaning and responsibility. I invite you to visit the channel, to watch more videos like this, and to keep engaging with these ideas. Because the search for meaning is not a one-time event. It is a lifelong process, and it is one of the most important journeys you will ever undertake.